My name is Glenn Slater. I'm a lyricist. I'm the lyricist for Love Never Dies. You know, writing lyrics is a very particular and specific craft. It has to do so many things at once, and it seems very simple on the surface, but you need to take an emotion and distill it down to a poetic essence. You need to take plot and string it through the song so that you move the audience from point A to point Z without stopping and without letting them realize that they're being taken on a trip until they get out at the other end. You need to write syllables that sit on the notes correctly so that, for instance, if it's a high note, it's an open vowel sound. If it's a low note, it's a shorter closed vowel. If it's a long note, it doesn't have as many consonants. There's all sorts of just linguistic issues that you have to take into effect so that the words sit correctly on the notes and so that it's singable. You need to make sure that the words that you choose fit into the time and the place that the story is set in. And the composer and the lyricist always, always, always have a very specific plot in mind, a very specific character in mind, a very specific way of speaking in mind, and an idea that they want the song to convey. In some respects, it's like playwriting, because you have to capture character and mood and realistic ways of speaking and plot and all that sort of stuff. In other ways, it's almost like mosaic, where you're taking bits of sound and placing them piece by piece onto a melody so that they create a harmonious whole. Working with Andrew on this particular project was a little bit different in that he had a synopsis of the story before we began working together that captured the plot pretty well, I would say. And Andrew began writing sketches of music based on that synopsis, trying to capture the way different characters would sound, the emotional content of certain key scenes, trying to come up with a mood and a feel for the story that would feel connected to the original Phantom of the Opera without being redundant to the original Phantom of the Opera, to give it its own sound and its own feel, but one that still feels like it's in the same world. It's a complicated problem because our main characters are all European, even though they're in an American society. So capturing the clash of that European sensibility with the American sensibility, the European high-flow language with the sort of slangy, jazzier patois of the American scene at that time, has been a lot of fun.